So we are here with Marc Marshall, a hypnotist and an acclaimed author. He's going to present at Mid-America Hypnosis this October 17, 18, 19. He's going to talk about eliminating self-limiting beliefs that are costing you client from blocked to booked. Marc, tell us all about it.
Carmen, first, thanks for having me on. I appreciate that a lot. I am really looking forward to this talk more than I have in a long time. And the reason is I keep coming across the same thing with hypnotists that I do with my clients. And that is the self-limiting beliefs that many hypnotists continue to have that they don't even know they have. And it's holding them back from being the best version of themselves, number one. And number two, from being booked and making the kind of living that they actually want to make. And one of the things you're going to hear me talk about in my talk is that for almost 80% of the hypnotists will never make more than $40,000 a year doing clinical hypnosis. And a lot of it has to do with the belief that they're not good enough, that money is against what their personal belief systems are. And these are things that they hold from way back when. So that's the essence of what my talk is going to be about. And I'm really excited because I know that hypnotists, by their very nature, are amazingly powerful people to be able to bring about change in people's lives. Why shouldn't they benefit as well?
See, this is a huge problem for us. I talked earlier with Rich Gutsy, and he's going to present how to. He actually said that us hypnotherapists, that we are healers, we don't know how to sell ourselves. We are not in a sales business, although we are helping others with persuasive inflation how they can become better selves. But our focus is more on healing, and I know my focus is more on healing, and then on making money off of it, because somehow there is some sort of belief ingrained in us, and you are going to touch up on it, I'm sure, that this should be free because all we do is talk about it as opposed to selling a product. Well, guess what? All we talk about it has gone through a lot of training, and that training costs a lot of money. So I'm sure this is, who knows what other limiting beliefs you have in mind, but go ahead and tell us about it.
I came to this in the process of writing my latest book. My latest book is entitled "There's No Such Thing as Try."
Let's see it. Let's see your book.
And in Try, let's see if we can get it in the system. And in Try, I bring about the things that I've discovered in my own life that were holding me back, things that I wasn't even aware of that really stopped me from being the best version of myself. And what I came to understand in the process was these patterns were ingrained in me when I was 8 years old, and not even realizing it. It took many, many years to actually trip on it. And that's despite having a lot of credentials. And I'm not just talking credentials in the area of hypnosis. I was a mayor of a community. I was been in emergency services. I've just spoken in conferences all over the country. And in each of those instances, I came to believe that I was self-sabotaging. I came to understand that I was self-sabotaging. And not getting what I should be getting for the work that I do, because I didn't believe I was worthy. I didn't believe that I was good enough. I didn't believe that what I had to offer people was of value. And I could see the results in the clients that I was getting. And they were, in some cases, somewhat miraculous. You know, I'm a conversational hypnotist. While I'm a comedy hypnotist, during the day there's no comedy to work with, so I have to entertain my clients. And in entertaining my clients, I came to see there's a better way here. And that is through conversational hypnosis, bringing about changes. And generally, when I work with my clients, it's in 1 or 2 sessions. We're clear. We're done. We're moving on. And that has yielded a lot of results, number one. And number two, the referrals are incredible that I get because that's part of the process. Now, look, I love Rich, and he's amazing. And one of the things that Rich teaches is the mistake that most hypnotherapists make is that we're trading hours for dollars. And I'm not going to go where Rich is going to go in that. And I'm not even going to talk about that. But if I don't believe that I'm worthy, that I'm good enough, that I can get out in front of the topics, that I need another certification to be an expert, that I need to speak, whatever it is that's holding me back, whatever that limiting belief is, that's the process that I'm going to talk about and lay out the framework for what it takes to change that in the hypnotherapist.
Yes, this is a very important topic, and I work with identity architecture. I do identity work, and being worthy. It's one of the very basic identity level work that I start at the beginning of identity level work. And you are correct. Not believing that we are worthy, it keeps us from contributing more. So I'm glad you discovered that. I'm glad you wrote the book, and I'm glad you're going to present this to us, because again, I cannot say this enough. Most of us therapists and coaches, we focus more on healing than other things. And we need to focus on other things as well, because this is a profession and we need to be awarded for what we offer.
One of the things that, and I'm glad you brought it up, because one of the things that we as hypnotherapists need to really connect with and recognize is that the energy we bring into our therapy rooms dictates everything and the result that we're going to get.
Yes.
Now, I have to tell you that there was a long period of time in my practice when I started where I was not a believer that energy led. And I didn't believe in a lot of things. But the universe has a wonderful way of showing us what really is present. And what I've learned is very simply, it starts as a whisper. And if we don't listen to the whisper, it gets loud enough until it finally, if we don't want to listen, it's going to hit us between the eyes with a bat until we wake up and say, there's something here to play with. And I've recognized the importance of energy in the work that I do, the energy I bring to my clients, the energy that I bring when I go on stage as a comedy hypnotist, makes or breaks a show. And so as therapists, it's really critical that we become in touch with the real energy that's there, not the facade that we're trying to paste in front of our client, but what we actually bring into that room is what they're sensing. Our self-doubt, our limiting self-beliefs, all of that stuff is going to work against the clinical hypnotist. And I'm talking about people who I know who have been doing the business for a long time, who are really skilled practitioners that are just not doing what they what they could be doing, number one, and what they should be doing, number two. They deserve, because of what we do, they deserve to be the agents of change that they are and get compensated in the way they should be getting compensated. Not really up against the wall of saying, if I don't do this, and a lot of them will have to leave the practice world because they can't afford to stay in it.
You're
and that's
correct.
Unfortunate.
You're correct. But I want to touch upon something that you said earlier, the energy that we bring in. So if I use a different terminologies, is the presence that we bring in, the state of being that we bring in. And it's nothing sophisticated about it, because it's all science, it's neuroscience. It is the mirror neurons that they're supposed to be there because this is how we learn. It's not like mirror neurons are bad. It's not like through mirror neurons we mirror somebody else. No, for some reason they were named mirror neurons, but thank God we have them. But when we entrain, if we entrain the client in our mirror neurons, then we mirror back. We generate a state of being that the client brought to us. So we need to be able to generate a different state of being to provide as a medicine to the client and not other way around. And a lot of people are not aware of this. And there are techniques on how you can do that. And that's my specialty. But I'm sure you have more to talk about this.
I'm really, I'm looking for the right word, because one of the things that I want to share a story. So when I wrote Try, and I put the first version out, and I had written it over a period of time, and what happened is I sent it out to a couple people to help me read it, let me know your thoughts. And I actually read it through again while I was on a plane en route to a show. And I said to myself, this is the worst book I've ever read, number one, let alone ever written. And I wanted to literally open the door, the exit door of the plane, and jump out. It was that bad. And I said to myself, this is really not what I was looking for. And I had to sit back and sit with it and say, I know what I wanted to say, and it wasn't there. And part of the reason it wasn't there was because I didn't come into it with the right energy. I didn't bring forth the right feeling, number one. And number two, it had no heart. It had no soul. It had no part of me in the book. And so I literally sat with that. And my goal was, because I know when I was writing the talk was written based on where I wanted the book to go. And in 8 days, I wrote 40,000 words so that I would have this book done. Yeah, it literally was a download. I mean, it was like, whoom.
That's a lot. If I've written books, that's a lot in 8 days.
Yeah, I mean, I knew where I wanted to go with the book. I was so excited about it. I'm really excited the way it turned out. I'm loving it. The comments that I've gotten from people who have read the proof versions of it so far have been really, really helpful. And it goes and meets really, it's a good follow-up to another book that I wrote, which is called Perception Equals Reality. And in Perception Equals Reality, again, it goes back to, and this also ties in with the talk, because how we perceive our world is what we one, receive, and two, project. So yes. we're creating our own realities every moment of every day. And we have the ability to change that at any time. And that's the part that people get stuck in, believing their own garbage, because it's been pushed upon them by, knowingly or unknowingly, by people in their life, family, people that they believe in, mentors. And I talk about, we're as sick as our thoughts. And I found myself early on in my career as a hypnotist, finding and attaching myself to mentors that were keeping me stuck in my own limiting belief systems.
Yes.
That's what I was searching out, not knowing it. I was looking for somebody who would help to elevate me, help to move me forward. And what I was finding, because I didn't believe I was worthy of having anything better, people who were keeping me stuck and effectively were telling me the same thing.
Mirror neurons. And
absolutely.
Yes, I can definitely understand what you're talking about, and it is very, very important work, and more people need to work on this. And what I like to say about all of these thoughts, you mentioned thoughts. What I like to say to every my client, that not every thought you think is yours. So I want everybody to ruminate on this. Not every thought you think is yours.
Right. And here's the point that I think is most important. We as hypnotists have what I consider to be the most powerful tool for creating lasting change in others.
Yes.
And we know intellectually what to do, but we don't have the commitment to self and to change, because there's a huge fear of changes is a frightening experience. Because when we admit to ourselves that we have to change, we're admitting to ourselves that something's wrong. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to accept, that my thinking is faulty. And what I bring out in the book, and what I want to talk about, will be talking about, is that there is no such thing as failure. I
Correct.
used to teach at-risk students, and at the front of my board, my classroom, I had a sign that said, "There is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback."
Yes.
And in my book, I talk about all of a number of historical figures, Edison being one of the best examples, who found 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb until he discovered the way to do it. We learn in every experience. We learn, and if we're open to learning and open to experiencing and open to being gentle with ourselves and saying, there's no such thing as perfection. And if I wait for perfection, I'm going to procrastinate my life away.
Correct.
Or and I can accept that. I can accept that I can learn how to do something better today than I did it yesterday. And if I walk away learning, then that experience, whatever it was, even if I didn't get the result I was looking for, I walked away with something new, something that's exciting to me.
Correct. And let me ask you this. A lot of people are not familiar with at-risk children. So tell us about what are at-risk children, and the work that it requires to work with them.
At-risk students are students who have failed out of traditional schools. My students were all gangbangers, every one of them. They had been in juvenile detention. They had some serious crimes behind them. Now, I was fortunate. When I did not start out my world as an educator. I started out my world as a structural family therapist. Went into the business world for a long time, and in 2008, I decided, after my father had passed and my business partner decided he wanted to retire, and it was a perfect time for me to follow my love. And my love was full-time hypnosis, and I went into both clinical hypnosis full-time and stage hypnosis. In that process of transitioning, I was able to go and become in New Jersey. I was living in New Jersey at the time, and I became what's called an alternate route educator, which meant I didn't go through the traditional teaching. Well, being a hypnotist, one of the things that I learned about my students is I knew how the mind works, obviously.
Yeah.
And what I used to do to my class every year, first day of class, is I'd take one student, I'd hypnotize him, I'd stick his butt to a chair, and I'd put a $20 bill out of his reach. If he could get the $20 bill, it was theirs to keep. Now, in all the years that I did it, I never lost a $20 bill. But it did three things for me. Number one, it gave me instant street cred. Do not mess with me. I will turn your mind into a pretzel. Number two, your mind is so powerful that I could stick you to the chair even though you were dying for that $20 bill, but you couldn't reach it. And number three, there is no such thing as can't in my classroom. You just need to learn the how. And I'm going to teach you the how about life. Yeah, we're going to learn the subject. But more importantly than learning subject is learning how to live life. And in that process, I came to put into my classroom mindfulness practice every day. Every class, every student, we practice mindfulness meditation for the first 7 minutes of my class. And I wrote a book on it, and it's called Staying in the Moment, Helping Students Achieve More Through Mindfulness Meditation. And in that book, my whole purpose of writing that book was to bring to educators a methodology that I found incredibly successful at raising the level of self-belief, eliminating that self-limiting belief that I'm not good enough, I'm not good, I'll never be good, I'm not a good person. And in that process, my students performed better in all of their classes. They were less involved in problems in the school. They were better self-regulating. And I was teaching them a skill set that they could take into their life, period. And
Yes.
every client that I work with, one of the major things I work with is mindfulness practice, because we know that so many of our clients are coming to us that are stressed out, they're anxious. And in each of those instances, whether they're depressed or anxious, we know that they're not living in the present. And if
Yes.
they're and
Yeah.
if they're in yesterday or tomorrow, and we can't make changes there. I can't unring the bell. I have no impact on tomorrow except what I'm doing right now. And in this moment, I can make any change. And that's where my talk comes into play for this conference, is letting hypnotists and hypnotherapists know, you know what? It's okay to admit that I don't have all the answers. It's okay that I admit that um, I need to reach out to somebody. I can be one of my own clients. I
Correct.
can. What would and I say this to people all the time. If you were talking to your best friend about this situation, what would you say to them? And that's
That's
the whole purpose.
correct. Correct. That's a very good question. And once, let me put this in perspective. By you working with at-risk students, that gives you the experience that you've acquired through that. It's not a small little skill set.
It's
And
not, and it's so much fun to do. I mean, I had these are people that would take honestly, these were tough kids, and when I left, they were in tears. They actually begged me not to leave, and I said it's my time,
and
and
I
and
I understand why. And because you saw them at their soul, you saw them as humans, you saw them as valuable individual, as opposed to the way they grew up, the way they are treated by other gang members. They're not individuals who are capable of contributing.
but they are, and that
Of
was the point. And so yes, I I'm fascinated, and as I look back over all my experiences in life, it's everything has lined up to bring me to this moment. Everything, and there's still things I'm still figuring out why it happened, but that's not important. The important thing is, what can I learn? What did I learn from that? I'm grateful. I am truly grateful that I have a large number of therapists, hypnotherapists, psychotherapists who are past clients or people that I have worked with, and for them to give me their trust, it is a great honor, and something that I truly cherish, that they've been able to trust me to help them through struggles, things that they've struggled with, things that have really been there that they were not able to do. And so when a colleague says to me, I'm struggling with something, it's like, okay, let's work through this. You have we can do this, and you can get past this, and you can take this new vibrational level to even higher. and that's what I want to see happen in the and that's why I'm so excited about Mid America. There is things happening. There's just a buzz and energy, an excitement that is very uncommon in the conference world.
You are correct. You are correct. I just feel at home. Recently, I just like to reach. There is something, I mean, I'm just a couple of minutes drive, but that's not it. I feel at home with these people, and they're just amazing people, and not okay. So I don't particularly like running into people that they believe they're better than others, because I have something to teach them. If that's what they believe, and I can read those thoughts. I mean, it's in that presence. It's in there, the way they present themselves. But they're not. This kind of people are not at the Mid America conference, and plus that this conference is it's made a lot of fun for us presenters and for every participant, because us presenters, these are 3 full days. I mean, you start at night, you finish at 9 in the morning, even 8 in the morning, and then you finish like what, 10, 11, 12 at midnight. These are heavy days, but somehow they don't feel as heavy, because we have time. We have fun. We have a lot of fun. So I want everybody to go to hypnosisconference.org right here. You go to hypnosisconference.org and get your all access pass. Whether you get the lower level, the mid level, or the higher level, get your pass. This means an all access pass. Of course, with the middle level, you get something in addition. And then with the higher level, you get much more in addition. But do go get your ticket. We're going to also have on Sunday, we're going to have keynote speaker Dr. Richard Bandler, which he's what's the word right now? It doesn't come to me. In neurolinguistic therapy.
He's the originator. He's the creator. He and John Grinder created. And I talk to people because my undergraduate degree is in rhetoric and communication. I studied how language impacts behavior. Now, when I went to university as an undergraduate, they had not published NLP yet. They were running in that universe with Erickson and Satir and Václavic and Haley and Fritz Perls and the whole crew were out there. And so for me, I saw this and I've always gravitated towards it, recognizing and have always used it in the work that I do. I'm excited to see Dr. Bandler's presentation. And I'm excited because of 2 things. Number one, it's rare for him to come to conferences. It doesn't happen.
That is true, and this is quite a gift for him to come here and teach us something directly, him, and not through his people. Yes.
The second thing that I find exciting is that he's doing a post conference, and what is particularly exciting about the post conference that he's doing is that he doesn't typically do the entire presentation. He talks for a couple of hours in his stuff and then hands it off to others.
Yes.
And he's doing an entire day of presenting. That, to me, is incredibly exciting. There are some great presenters. Chase Hughes, an amazing powerhouse in human behavior and reading human behavior. Chase is a human lie detector, and he's exciting and he's really knowledgeable, and his history is incredible. Also a keynoter. Carmen, I met you last year. Last year was the first year I went to Mid America, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
So now you're coming back because you met me last year.
Right. And the thing about, I almost didn't make it to Mid America. It was an interesting story. I living in Florida, my home got hit by Hurricane Milton. I had significant damage, but not enough that it wiped out my home. Okay. And I was pretty down on it. And Rich, kind of Guzzy, really held a a gun to my head and my feet to the fire. And he said, well, you're in a terrible place. He says, good, you're presenting. I said, now this is literally 2 weeks before conference. And he says, you're going to present. I said, I don't have a topic. He says, you better get your butt in gear and get something because you're presenting. And
Nice.
it was that kind of understanding what I needed in the moment and the way I was received by the people at Mid-America that has excited me, has ignited me to really come forth this year and say, I want to share something that I've been playing with, that I've recognized that really can help elevate the community. And that's what I say. This is a community. This is a tribe. And what we do, how we present, what we present, look, it's going to open the door for a lot of discussion, self-reflection, and opportunity. And there's going to be an opportunity. I mean, one of the things that I want that I'm going to be talking about is a program that I've developed. It's called the Summit Series, and that's a 6-day program to elevate and get people, hypnotherapists, past their self-limiting beliefs, to break through, to ignite their passions again, and then to bring them to a new level. And so that's where we're going here. And the reality is that this is a talk. My talk is a talk only for people who want to have a better understanding of how to be the best version of themselves. Now, if they don't want to know about how to be the best version of themselves, I'm not the guy to listen to.
Excellent. So we need to combine the audience, because you're going to talk about people becoming the best version and overcoming limited beliefs and believing that they are important as they are, that they are good enough, and so much more. I mean, we just start with good enough at the basic, but then we need to take them into my audience so I can take their identity even further, because believing that you're not good enough and then having self-limiting beliefs has all to do with your identity, who you are, and what moves through you. And a lot of us, we use the word what's the word? Not vibration, but yeah, vibration. Yeah, we use that word, the energy level and the vibrational energy.
Elevate their vibrational levels, to bring them to the highest level that they can.
Correct.
You know, I wake up every morning and I say to myself, and I'm so grateful every morning to recognize that I've been given the opportunity to help shape people's lives, whether it's on my stage, making people laugh, and really their first experience in hypnosis, what hypnosis is about. And if I can do that on a stage, imagine what I can do in my office with you. That's number one. Number two, I'm really excited. I have a new product that I've just brought out. And it's called snake oil hypnosis, because Rich says to us all the time in program, you're not snake oil salesman. Well, the hell I'm not. I am a snake oil salesman. And I'm bringing out my snake oil meditation program. It's brand new. Just launched it this week. And I'm bringing it out for the first time at conference. And it is just insanity. I use all the stuff that we would use. And I invite people to just take a look at it, because it's crazy. And we have to laugh too. And we have to
Excellent. So everybody, again, go to hypnosisconference.org, get your all pass a ticket over here, and then come and see. These are the schedule right here. That's the schedule. You're going to find Marc right here on Saturday on Arbor C from 9 a.m. So bring your coffee. I am going to be there at Friday at 3 p.m. What am I? Right here. I'm going to be in Oakwood A, right here, about identity. And again, bring your coffee, because what I'm going to be shortly after lunch. No, you're not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to let you fall asleep. So bring your coffee, but most definitely bring your notebook. And again, here is Marc Marshall. He's going to present from blocked to booked. Eliminate self-limiting beliefs that are costing you your clients. So, Marc, any last words you want to share with us?
Carmen, thank you for inviting me again. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing you in just a few days. And, I've got craziness coming on between now and then. I've got a radio appearance, got some shows coming up, and then pack, get out there and um, have fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing old friends and looking forward to making new ones.
All right. Well, that's exciting. I'm very excited too, and I look forward to see you here. And I'm gonna attend your presentation, and you're gonna attend my presentation, and we're gonna have lunch together. Everybody's gonna have lunch together because we're gonna have a lunch buffet. And this is so important because it's gonna give us a chance to talk to more people as opposed to getting in a car and going somewhere and hurrying up to come back. And we're going to have an additional half an hour for lunch so we can spend that time to chit chat among us, to say, hey, good to see you, I haven't seen in a while, so and so. But I am very excited, definitely.
I think one of the great takeaways are for those of us who have been to conferences before. I think it's really incumbent upon us to be sure that we reach out to the newcomers and make them know that they are worthy and part of our tribe, and that welcome. And
Correct.
I think that's a huge part of what we do, and we understand that. We all remember when our first times were, and the fears and the concerns that we had. And the reality is there are so many offerings. There's so many great speakers. You can't go wrong, no matter whichever room you walk into. That's the room the universe said you need to be in that moment. Accept that, because that made a huge change. By accident, I walked into a room, and that really set the world in a different axis spin for me. It's something I never would have considered having to been, but it was there. So I invite people to do that when they come to conferences time.
Definitely, definitely. One more time, you're going to see, here's the schedule. You have the hypnosisconference.org, the schedule. And you're going to see Marc on Saturday, 9 o'clock. And you're going to see me right here, you're going to see me on Friday at 3 o'clock. And this is me. I am going to present to you identity architecture, where neuroscience meets meta-conscious design. There might be some fancy word, but there's nothing fancy about how we do it. It's good for us to understand the neuroscientific findings, because we get to better understand the energy and the vibration that everybody talks about. So it's cool to have science around it. And this is Hypnosis World. And again, go right here, hypnosisconference.org, get your all pass, whether it's first level, second level, or the third level. There's a lot that is offered. And
I will. I want to jump in here for a moment, because
yes,
I do know that I was talking to Rich. It's very, very close to selling out. I mean, there's probably about a handful of tickets left available.
you are correct. You are correct. Just earlier, I talked to Rich, and there were not even, when I started podcasting with him, we had like 25 tickets left. And by the time I finished the podcast, 5 tickets already sold. So yeah, we better hurry up. There's who knows how many seats are left. I mean, it's just so much. We have a lot of room, but still, within the fire code, within the fire
Right.
code, we have to be limited to so many, to a number of people. But hurry up! Don't miss up, people. Seriously, do not miss up. Hurry up. All
Carmen,
right.
thank you again.
All
Thanks.
right. Very good. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you at We'll see you in October 17, 18, 19. And I have a vendor exhibit booth. Make sure you stop by. I have goodies, I have gifts. So stop by and then attend Marc's presentation and attend my class. And then you are going to be well on your way to become the best version of who you are.